Alright, welcome to the start of a new anime review series. This is, I'm the Vilainess, and I'm Taming the Final Boss. Yeah, it's one of these type of romance series, but there's actually a lot of humor in it. Not the first one I come across where you have a female lead, and she's trying to woo, like, a male character because she's trying to avoid something. Well, the lead character, who's known as Aline, that's her name, where we see in the first episode where she is being told by her fiance in the episode, this was of course the start of it, named Cedric, in a over-the-top medieval fashion. He says, I am breaking up with you because I met a new girl. I met basically a new woman. And the woman's name is Lalia. Yes. Who, like, she's next to him. And apparently at that very moment, Ali remembers, oh, she was actually a terminally ill Japanese teenager who played a game on what looks like to be a PSP, and then she got reincarnated in this world. And I'm like, it took her almost 20 years to realize this. It's weird. Normally they have the people who get reincarnated. This is probably the longest I've ever heard anybody waiting before. They realize, oh, we got basically reincarnated in a video game. But this one is not like, oh, he or she is a character that he created. Oh no, she actually played the game. She's a player, and she got made into the main villain of the game. And it's also the final boss, so we'll get to that. So, by the way, Aline is voiced by the awesome Alexis Tipton. And someone might be thinking, Nick, did you pick this series to watch because Alexis is the lead voice character? Yes. Definitely. It's been a while since I've listened to her voice in a series. And this is the 31st series I've come across with her in it. You're thinking, wait a minute. 31? Yeah, 31. Last one was, I kid you not, saving 80,000 gold of my retirement. Yes, that was my most recent series I've seen with her in it. Yeah. I don't get many shows with her in it, per se. But always great to hear her voice. And some of you might be asking, Nick, is this one of the many voice actors you've been over the years at the Comic-Cons? Yes. Yes, I have. I met her once it was at Central Park Comic Con. I think it was back in either 2022, I think it was. Yes, 2022. It was the con, basically, I wore a mask at. And she did not have a photo op option, that I remember. I'm trying to remember, I think she may have photo option, but I decided to just go with the autograph. Purely because, well, kind of the reason why, because I was trying to save money. And if I see her again, I'm going to basically get a picture with her this time. Well, I remember meeting her. She's a very lovely woman. Redhead, obviously. I think she's about the same age or a little older than I am. And by the way, for Alexis, it is obvious. Okay, she is... Yep, I was right, she's a redhead. So, those of you curious, how old is Alexis? Alexis is 35. Yes, that means she is exactly 1 year younger than me. Yep. Funny enough, basically, like, a lot of the series I've seen her in, usually she's like the supporting character, not usually the lead character. Currently, you find her as the current voice as Kid Trunks in Dragon Ball Super. So, is this possibly the first series I've heard her as the lead character? The answer is no. You're like, really? What was the first one? My Bride is a Mermaid. Yep. Excuse me. After that, nothing for quite a while. Excuse me. The only other series basically I've seen where she's like one of the lead characters is Anya Hepburn in Sawyer Not. So this is the second one. So I believe this is the third. Yes. I believe this is overall the third anime I've seen her in where she's a lead character. Yes. Of course, I also see her in Fire Force where she's one of the main characters, but she's not the main focus character per se. Yeah. By the way, she currently is the voice of Luna from Dr. Stone. Yep. I recently just saw her in No Longer Allowed in the World as Annette. Actually, no. Actually, it wasn't that one. It was a different one. Let's see. It was Daima. Yeah, she was recently in Daima. She was also in Legend here is Yuna. Yuna, I believe, was the... No, was not the female lead. She was basically a necromancer. Well, I always enjoy basically her... This show came out roughly almost 3 years ago. Plus, the character is a blonde. So, she's like, okay, so what do I do now? So, her fiancé is over, her engagement is over, so she decides, I'm going to tame the final boss, and goes to visit the Demon Lord, who just happens to be now her current ex-fiancé's older half-brother. And his name is Claude. And he's played by John Bergamer. Now you're thinking, who is he known for voicing? Well, this might surprise you. Tien Shinhan from Dragon Ball Z. And you're like, wait a minute. Tien Shinhan. Three-eyed guy, does a tri-beam. Yep, same voice actor. Yep, and apparently his mom is Linda Young. You're like, really? Who does she play? Fortune Teller Baba. And I believe she was one of the voice actors voicing Frieza. I believe she was the first one of Funimation. Yes. For some reason, she currently it's Damon Mills. Not sure why Damon decided to take over, but Linda was the first one of Funimation. So it is interesting though. You have Tien basically in the same series. The actor plays as his mom, but also playing Fortune Baba, which she also basically played her in the original Dragon Ball series. He played as recent as Super. Yeah, played Predator for years. Yeah, also, here's a little fun fact. Head writer for the English dub for One Piece. You're like, wow. You're like, no wonder why the One Piece dub is so good. You can thank him for that. Yep, so they go in the forest, and like, he ends up tearing clothes and getting spooked by, well, oh, I'm a guest. And then she just arrives at his castle, where basically he just, like, how do I open this thing? So I can push this door, like, here, allow me. And there's Claude just blasting his old castle door. And then we're introduced to his, then she's knocked, basically, then she decided to propose to him on the spot. Despite the fact these two do not really know each other very well. By the way, she reveals that apparently that he actually killed her in the original game by squishing her with his foot when he went to Dragon Mode. So he gets knocked out and woken up, and we see two people with him, his aides. Beelzebub, who is a demon, and a human. Yes, named Keith. Now, Keep is voiced by the awesome Kyle Phillips. Kyle Phillips! Yeah, there's a song about that too, because he loves playing that song whenever he does the Twitch streams. Yeah, it's been a bit since basically I heard a new series with him in it. I knew right away this was him, because it's Kyle Phillips. Of course it's Kyle Phillips. He doesn't get, like I actually looked up, like, how many series, basically, I've come across with him as basically a character. Like, basically, this is the 23rd series that I've heard him in. Yeah, there's a couple that he just does basically background characters. He did Too Much the Fantasy, Trigon Stampede, and How Not the Summon Demon Lord. If you're really curious, what was the last known series before this one where he played a character in I have seen? The answer is Fairy 2-Year's Quest, where he voices Scorpido. You're like, really? The anime came out last year, and that's the most recent character in voice? Yes. Beyonce is voiced by Brandon Johnson. Leela is voiced by Hayden Duvall, which you might find this interesting. Her husband's in the anime. He shows up in episode 2. Yeah, he basically is like a friend of hers. Actually, he hasn't shown up here, so I'll get to that later. So, basically, it's like, okay, so, well, then, of course, they'll have to leave, but fix the outfit, and like, okay, so go visit again. This time bringing sweets, but before she gets there, it's like, hello, gatekeeper, can I see the gatekeeper? And then here comes a crow, which she proceeds to put a bow on him, which I found to be so funny. And then giving him a cookie that has almonds in it and causing him to sleep. He's like, I'll tear the feathers of his bird's head to see Clyde. And then when Clyde basically is rid of the elixir, basically like it was a knockout thing. And then, of course, like, oh, can I hear another cookie? And he's like, don't worry, the thing is, it's only that almond one. He's like, she's telling the truth. And, of course, being escorted, obviously, because she invited to a ball, which takes place 2 months prior to this episode. Really funny here. He's like, oh, here has some more cookies. And all these, like... And then, of course, she's informed, oh, there's a Fariner, basically this wolf creature, like, who somehow ended up in... this school, and she knows the place. And it was implied later on when I think it was ex-fiance showed up, where it's implied she was expelled. Why? Because she got her engagement dissolved. And by the way, before she left, she proceeds to take Claude's ascot. He apparently doesn't have a problem with her basically doing that. And she's like, well, if this creature smells his scent, should be more friendly to him. Friend to her. And he's like, that's actually a pretty good idea. And apparently, like, also take out this little thing, holds it on there, like, leave with him, ties around her wrist, goes straight to the school. At first, the creature bites her, but then sniffs her other arm, which has the ribbon, and of course, then the mother shows up, and of course, they take it away. Of course, she's stank because left in debt. So, in order to pay back debt, they need to fix his castle. Because Clyde decided to end the engagement, he decided to seize her assets in all her businesses. You're like, why? Like, he needed the prince and the fact that they're no longer together, but last time I checked, that's all hers. So technically, he can't take those, but apparently can because he's the prince. So we need new capital. So basically brings her friends in, to help fix the castle. Also find out who's embezzling his money. We also have this guy named Jasper, who's reported by Mark D. Salmick. Great character. And there's also Isaac, who's with Alejandro. He basically, his wife basically is Leela, which is interesting. Alman is the crow. He's with Andy Boland, which is so funny. Yeah. And also Dennis, voiced by Clark Strange. Luke, a doctor, voiced by the awesome Jerry Jewell. No, I've not met him. There's also Quartz, voiced by Jerry Greene. Basically, someone like Luke. Which one is? I think it's Dennis, who's a 16-year-old, and basically fix the castle up, and of course bribe him with sweets, and also Jasper works with Keith to find out who's embezzling, which of course get more capital there, and of course Grease be the escort. And apparently Claude think he really wants to see her cry because she doesn't have to see her cry yet. Excuse me. But that's the first episode in a nutshell. Gotta admit, basically there's a lot of stuff going on in these 2 episodes. I'm really looking forward to basically they also do business of creating cosmetics, which is interesting. Yeah, so a lot of setup here in the first 2 episodes. We got some interesting characters. I love the voice cast of the show so far. And I'm going to basically hopefully finish up tomorrow and go back to O's, maybe. So that's pretty much a particular review. Please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, turn notifications, and join us like button. Well, next up, basically, we have. I was going to do a comic couple to my home chart. Just finished charging. I'm basically waiting to do my next anime, which is going to be 100 Girlfriends. Get the anime cut up. Basically, get down to about from 6 and 5 episodes ago. And after that, we head hunting the world. Okay, next to you. Bye.